USDJPY, I'm also having I had two scenarios on the USDJPY where I was looking for a breakout of structure, that is a breakout of structure here, where I'll be looking for a retest to buy the dollar, or wait for a breakdown of this bullish trend line, a retest into the bearish trend line to take advantage of a bearish momentum. However, since the beginning of the UK session, we have seen like three bullish engulfing candles, giving us a sign that the dollar is probably going to be a very strong currency against the yen going into the new week. And if we look closely into what has been happening since May, beginning of the month, we can see that price has been caught within a descending channel, as price continued to respect that descending channel, not until around on the 19th of May, where we started seeing a reduction in the bearish expansion, as the expansion continued to reduce going into last week trading session, as we can see. So the traction that the sellers began the month with reduced drastically. If you allow me, let me give you a visual representation of what I'm talking about. If you look at what happened here, we saw this move to the downside. We saw how huge that was, and then if you compare it with what we have here, you can see that it's not the same, as the expansion was short, like half of what we had earlier. And if you bring it further to this one, you can see it becomes smaller and smaller. So this is a clue that sellers are actually losing the momentum in the market, hereby giving way for buyers to take advantage of that shortcoming. So what I'm looking out for, I'm looking forward to, is a further breakout of that supply zone to add one more position to it. After we see a retest of structure, then we can add one more position to this trade. The first trade is already triggered. Then I'm waiting for one more position to add to this trade at a retest of structure. So where will our take profit target be? If we look left, we can see we have an area that has been holding price for some time. We can see since April, we saw this area has been a resistant level, a supply zone. It has been a demand zone, then a supply zone in the past. So that is why I am bringing our take profit target to around 129 Japanese yen, which is around 180 pips approximately for this one. So personally, let's look at how price action plays out going into the New York session. However, there is a possibility that price might not come back as far down as this before the trend continuation happens. So what are you going to do in that regard? So this is our supply zone here. It has been a supply zone in the past. So if this supply zone finally breaks, we see price break out of that supply zone, definitely we want to be looking for a retest into that area. Then we look for patterns that supports a trend continuation to the upside. So that means if you are taking a trade right above this area, we'll be having around 150 pips, 140 pips thereabout to take advantage of. So and your stop loss should be right below this key level or right above this key level at 127 Japanese yen. So this is what I'll be looking out for. This is what I'll be looking out for the GBP or the USDJPY. Shockwave, we spoke about GBP/JPY a couple of minutes ago. What I would just suggest is that you hold on while I do the summary. I do the quick recap. You can actually see what we talked about on the GBP/JPY. So that is that on the USDJPY. And let's just see what we can look out for again going into the New York session. Let's look at it together again and see what's happening. On the USD CAD, we've been on a bearish momentum for quite a while now. At least since the beginning of the month, we've been on a bearish momentum. And presently on the 4 hours time frame, I can't find a structure to play around with. And personally, I normally take long-term positions. I always prefer finding structures on a higher time frame, after which I look for entry points on lower time frame. However, if you are a scalper, let's see if I can find structures on the 15 minutes time frame that we can take advantage of going into the New York session. So one thing I identified here on the USD card is that price opened today at 1.27277, and we as at an hour ago, price was around here. So we can see here that price has continued to find lower lows and lower highs since the beginning of today, and this has been emphasized during the course of last week's trading session, as we can see how price has continued to find lower lows and lower highs at this point. So if how are you and you want to take advantage of any position here, you want to be looking for selling opportunities at this point. So one thing first we want to be doing is to find a key level that will guide our action going forward. So if we bring out our line chart at this point, then we could identify that we have a key level right around here where we want to be looking for price right below that key level to take advantage of a selling momentum. See what I'm talking about? So one thing we want to be looking out for, we already have this impulse leg right now. We saw multiple rejection of this area. Then I want to join a sell right now. If price breaks below this level around here, sorry, let me bring out my line chart to be more specific. Okay, somewhere around here. So we have a short position that looks more like this. With a stop loss right above key level, that's around 12 pips stop loss. And then where will our take profit target be? So if we look left, we see that we have an impulse leg here, and then if we run our Fibonacci extension tool through that impulse leg, we'll have something like this. Then I want to be looking at I see these around 20 pips thereabouts. Let's go to a higher time frame. Let's see what's happening. Let's see if we can play around with structures here. On the higher time frame, we don't really have much. We still around. Sincerely, I'm not seeing a position. I'm not seeing anything here. So what I will just say is this: go back to your 15 minutes time frame. Look at what is happening. If you really want to take advantage of, please, if I were you, I'll wait for price to come back up a little bit so that I can scoop in more profits. So I'll rather wait for price to come back into this area where I look for structures that support a trend continuation to the down to 1.26630 area. And so we have something like this. Probably price come back to somewhere around this area, and then we see, yeah, price come back to somewhere around here with a stop loss of around 7 pips. Then we could be aiming at around 25 pips take profit target at 1.26630. So that is my expectation on this one. However, after that being said, if we do have a breakout of structure, that is, we have a breakout of the bearish trend line and also that key level, then definitely we want to be looking for a retest of structure, after which we look for patterns that support a trend continuation to the upside. So if that happens, then definitely we want to have our entry point right above that, we want to be having an entry point right above that key level where we'll have stop loss right below the structure, or right below the key level. Then take profits could be somewhere at let's go left, see what's happening. So we have this impulse leg. From here. Hold on a second. What is happening? Okay, we have this impulse leg here. Then we want to be looking at a retracement of that impulse leg. We want to be looking at a retracement into the golden zone area, which is around 78.6 and 50% of the previous impulse leg. So we have it around this area. So what we want to be looking out for is price coming into somewhere around here if a buy opportunity happens. So we have a minimum of about 60 pips to hold on to latch on to if price goes up. I hope I had made justice to your USD card. Who asked after USD card the other time? Okay, Ghost Rider. I just made justice to your USD card now, and let's see how price plays out during the New York session. So let us add this to the list we'll be looking out for tomorrow. So I think we're already out of time.